But I just asked him just now. I said, "What is going on? Do you think we're in like Montana?
That's
we're
blue
not.
Sky country.
I literally walked outside just now, and he was wearing a cowboy hat. And I was like,
"You're welcome."
I don't even know what's happening. I'm just gonna keep doing this. I don't know what to tell you.
You guys have been married for how long?
25 years.
At September.
In September.
September, it will be 25 years.
Have you guys learned anything about each other in this quarantine?
Oh my gosh, have we ever?
Well, do tell. It's just cemented what you don't like about it.
No, but it's cemented some things that are kind of good and some things that are bad. I mean, Al can be like very sort of OCD about how he wants to do things, and the house is basically a studio. That's why we're outside. There's no room inside because he's got cameras and lighting and monitors.
As
and all
do
of that.
you.
Okay. But he's ordered a lot of stuff. But anyway, I was about to answer a question here.
I know, but I'm just saying we're both doing our respective morning shows, and every time Deborah has a piece, it's uncanny. We literally are on the air at the same time.
So he's in this room right over here, and then I'm in the living room over there, and he's talking while I'm talking. And like today, I was doing an interview just now before this, a Zoom interview, and Al's like, shh, he's closing the doors. And I said, don't close those doors. That's my background.
Because I was doing a Zoom
You
interview.
shush.
What's quarantine been like for you guys?
Challenging.
Wow.
Challenging.
I know that sigh.
Wow.
I know that sigh.
Yeah, I mean, we're in an apartment in Brooklyn. We have 3
Mhm.
kids. They're young, right? 4,
Mhm.
2, and 11 months. And I have a job that I can do remotely, but it requires, focus and concentration and not a lot of
reading and
noise. And I got to read a lot.
And little kids don't quite allow for that to happen as smoothly.
No, they
Mhm.
don't. And I never
Mhm.
appreciated how much I needed quiet in order to get my job done until this quarantine thing happened, because it's just in short supply, quiet.
Well, I
Pretty
think
good.
you realize that with little kids, and you guys can speak to this as well, the need-based part of your relationship, you truly realize you are a team, and it's like, don't leave me here alone. Like,
Right, right.
But I will say, and Deborah has colleagues in the same situation. I see my co-anchors, and they've all got small kids, and I just laugh. We're past that now. Eventually, you'll get here too. But in the meantime.
What was your first impression of each other?
Well, I thought she was stunningly beautiful and smart. It started at NBC and just was, blown away by her intelligence. And she was just a really great reporter.
Now, who asked who out first?
Oh, wow. Oh, you asked me out.
Yes.
We went out to lunch, and that was just sort of friendly. And then I went away to the Olympics in Barcelona to cover the Olympics.
And she asked me to keep an eye on her apartment.
I remember this.
And so, of course, you're going to look around. Most guys would look in the bedroom. I'm looking in the kitchen, and I'm looking, and there's cobwebs in the fridge.
That's not true.
Well, it's pretty
close.
Some
cheese and a bottle of wine.
I opened up the oven just to see how dirty it was. And I was flummoxed because there was cardboard on the grates, on the oven grates.
They had replaced the oven.
And I thought, oh my God, she's never used the oven. And then, you open the pantry and you say something and there's an echo. So the day before.
I was a traveling correspondent.
The day before she came home, I stocked her fridge, stocked her pantry, left some flowers on the table and a note, welcome home. And
that was what did it.
And then I got a date.
That was what did it. I thought, this is a really, really sweet, romantic, kind guy. So he had me at that point.
So he didn't look that great. See, the good news is, Sarah, you started with somebody really good looking. So he had everything going for him, and he was good looking.
And you know
Deborah,
what he says to me all the time? You traded up. I mean, look, I'm good.
I got better.
I got better.
Don't sell yourself short, Al. I disagree.
Yeah. He's never stocked my pantry, so I mean, there's that.
Well, there's time. There's time for that. There's time for that. You probably didn't need it.
That almost sounds like a double entendre, doesn't it?
Okay, this is a family kind of show.
I don't know that it is.
It may not be.
Is it though? I mean,
I don't know. It may not be.
Kids are nowhere to be seen.
No. Who initiated the first kiss?
Oh, I'm sure you did.
I'm sure.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. I figure I want to find out if this is going to go anywhere or not.
I think you kind of caught me unawares. I think literally we were just sort of walking.
I was hiding in her closet.
No, but I think we might have been walking and you just like suddenly planted one on me. So I was like, whoa, okay. I you know, I don't know. You're not the most delicate when it comes to that sometimes. So I think he just like stole a kiss. And I was like, whoa, okay. We certainly weren't in that time where anybody was asking, may I kiss you?
He traded up for the pantry and the refrigerator. He got a little lip lock.
There you go.
You're going to pay for it eventually.
Exactly.
Not to be confused with LifeLock.
Which he also got.
But I will say that we went out on a date, and I don't know if this was one of our very first, but we went to a really lovely restaurant in New York, Michael's, and it had only been open like I think a couple of years, and it was kind of renowned as this hot spot in Midtown, and we went, and it was just, I mean, I'm a small town girl from Georgia, and I always had dreams about the big city in New York and all of that. So I was still kind of in pinch me mode once I had moved there for NBC. The city is just so amazing. And we go to this really beautiful romantic dinner one night at Michael's. And it was a pinch me moment, like, wow, this is like something that I've seen in a movie. We're out on this sweet date in New York at this beautiful restaurant. And it just, I have to say, he kind of got me at that one too. So it was a double whammy there, Max. I mean, the one thing with the pantry and the flowers was beautiful, but then he was capable of romance. And I thought, that's not easy to come by every day.
Well, I was going to say the reason I'm not saying much about proposals is that mine pales in comparison to yours to such a degree that I'm just embarrassed to even bring it up.
I'm sure it was beautiful,
how did it work?
Well, it was a Tuesday or Wednesday morning.
It was a Tuesday.
I can't even remember.
December 3rd.
It was a random day. It was 6 a.m, and I just did it in bed.
6 a.m?
Whenever we wake
Haven't
up.
brushed my teeth in my pajamas.
Did you figure that you might be a little confused and off in this way? You know,
had you had your coffee?
Vulnerable?
She haven't had coffee.
No, I think my point was, I think there was a point to it. I wanted Sarah to have a full day of riding the high. So that was the way I spun
And it was my weekend because I worked weekends.
Oh.
So he wanted it on my day off. He had tried to propose twice before. One night I was not getting along with my mom and he didn't want to he didn't want me to remember my proposal as the night I was fighting with my mom. The second time I asked him why he was interfering with our show. Why are you telling me you admire me? This is so lame. You're talking. Shut up. And then he said the only way to catch Sarah in a good mood and not talking is to get her first thing in the morning.
Oh, that's okay. Well, that makes sense.
I like that.
That actually makes sense. I get that now.
Bravo. Well played, sir.
Who would you say between the two of you is the romantic one?
I have to just admit it. And I think I'm a pretty romantic person, but he beats me to the punch. I mean, he left a love note outside, by the coffee maker today with just like the right quote. And he does things like that a lot. And he hides notes in my suitcase when I'm traveling. So when I get someplace and I'm unpacking my bag for bed, there's a beautiful love note. And I can't even keep up. Or
I also put some coupons in there too.
Now, Al, can you tell us your favorite thing about Deborah?
I think that she is a terrific mom, and that she is very, she helps you be a better parent. By example, and makes you want to be a better parent because she's such a good mom. She's terrific at so many different things, whether it's work or she works out like a fiend and all this stuff. But she's a terrific mom to all of our children, and it makes you want to be a better parent, which I think makes you a better person in general.
Oh, that's sweet.
Now, Deb, can you tell us your favorite thing about Al?
I was thinking, I knew you were going to turn it on me. I thought maybe you might just skip on to the next question. I feel like we're going to start to sound schmaltzy, but he's got a big heart. He's got a big heart and he really cares. And I think that he's a queen. He's from Queens, New York. So
he's a queen.
He's queen. Yeah. I was going to say he's a Queens guy. He's from Queens, New York. And so there's a little bit of a bravado there. Like, oh, you don't really want to show that much, but he's got a real big heart. I can't tell you how many times people go, oh, does he just make you laugh all the time at home? I'm like, no, he drives me crazy because he leaves things out on the kitchen and socks on the floor and all that.
To that, Leela once, this was about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and Leela's room was a mess, and I just kind of went off on her. And all of a sudden she burst into tears. She goes, "This isn't fair. America sees the happy Al Roker. They never see this Al Roker."
It's true.
Al, do you know how many times I've heard, "Why don't you treat me like you treat everyone?"
I know, it's so true.
Deb, can you tell us something we may not know about Al?
So many people see him as the guy who's out there with the crowds and outside the window and just carrying on and having a great time. But the reality is he's actually shy. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times my family, and I'm from a big family, and when they've come to visit, pre-pandemic, of course, they would often ask, like, "Is it something we did? Al's in the corner in the house," or "Al was out for a minute, but he went back in the house. Is there something we did?" Or any number of people when we're out at restaurants or whatever. He's a very kind of introverted guy. And I think most people would be shocked to hear that. That's very true.
Same thing about Deb. Maybe is there something surprising about her that we wouldn't know?
She knows how to ride a unicycle.
I knew you were going to say that. I do. I know how to ride a unicycle. Isn't that very bizarre?
I tried to learn that, and that is one thing I never nailed. I could not get it down.
I was in junior high, and I had this PE class, and we did a lot of juggling, kind of clown stuff. Our PE teacher liked a lot of this stuff, and so that was kind of part of our course. And I learned to ride the unicycle, and I enjoyed it so much. I begged my parents to buy me one, so they bought me one as a birthday gift. And I was the black kid in Little Perry, Georgia, riding the unicycle around the neighborhood. Everybody's like, "What is wrong with this kid? What is going on?"
Who's the better driver between you two?
Well, by faster, yes.
I think I'm a much better driver. Al drives like a little old lady. And then sometimes, like, out of the blue, he drives fast, but he's like constantly halting and checking and keeping like 4-car distances.
Well, I've had a couple of, not of my own fault, but they've been involved in a couple of catastrophic car crashes.
Oh,
and
my
so,
gosh.
and so, you know what? It's like, please be my guest.
I'm a safe driver, though. I'm a safe driver.
Last question. Toilet paper, when you put it on the roll, over or under?
Over.
Over.
You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember because I know I often change it out, so I usually do over. How about you guys?
We're over. Max is a maybe doesn't replace
Max
it guy.
is a never thought about it kind of guy. Didn't know it was a thing.
You never replace it. He probably just leaves the little spool there, and you do it.
You guys, I have to thank you before you go. We were so excited to reach out to you because one, I don't see either of you enough anymore. But as a couple, I had the luxury of meeting Al Roker, who, as Max said, I've talked so highly about since the moment he met me. I have raved. When
justifiably so.
Yeah. When you have the most.
Well, you stop me anytime you can. It's like, "How's Al? How are the kids? Give him a big hug. Give him a big kiss."
I've watched her grow up, so.
Well, and Al, I have to say, it was funny because I got to know you first and was such a huge fan and loved you and knew of the kids, knew there was a wife, just had never met her. Then I meet her. One day I said, "I think I need to start changing. I need to check in when I ask Deb how she's doing. I always talk about Al." And so then as I got to know her and what, as you said, beyond her abilities as a journalist, her humanity is the only thing that outshines that. She's one of the most beautiful people I've met. You made sense after that. And I'm such a fan of you guys as a couple. I think the world
thank you.
Thank you. Well, now that puts pressure on us to make it to 25, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Got, 4
Come
months,
on, September. Love you guys. Stay safe.
Love you too.
And never feed a baby chili.
Oh, stop it.
Good to know.